Hey guys, how are you all? Today we will see what if Naruto become the demon king of elemental nations. If you enjoy watching our videos, then do like and subscribe to our channel. Also, don't forget to mention which part of the video you like the most in the comments. So without much delay, let's start the video.
Chapter 1. Valley of the End. Running at his top speed from the forest, Naruto finally sees the target of his pursuit, Sasuke Uchiha, standing on top of one of the two statues that form the water. Catching up with him after hours of pursuit, Naruto stops on top of the other statue, separated by the waterfall from him, taking a breath and calls out to him. Sasuke. Naruto addresses the boy, who had his back turned to him all this time, and only then did Sasuke turn to face Naruto, revealing his cursed mark effect, W. Eyes blackened, as he looked at the knuckle-headed shinobi with contempt. So, it's you, hopeless little knucklehead. Sasuke spoke with clear snide. She sent you after me, didn't she? Like I told Sakura, it is all over, so just leave alone. As much asking as he was stating the fact, suspecting that Sakura would have turned to Naruto to get Sasuke back. The last scion of Uchiha clan already had a pretty good idea of how this entire conversation was going to go down, already knowing how Naruto was going to plead. Back. Sasuke has already made up his mind, and there was no turning back now from his path, at least that was the case in his mind. However, what he didn't echo was what had happened next, as Naruto started to chuckle, and then laugh, first confusing Sasuke, and then actually scaring him. The manner of Naruto's laughter, it was not like he used to be, it was as if he had become a completely different person, from his posture to tone. After about a.m. Naruto finally stopped and collected himself, and then he looked at Sasuke with quite a vicious smile, the kind that Sasuke never would have imagined, before he spoke. Voice that made Sasuke feel chills run down his spine. Despite what you might think, Sasuke, I would love nothing more than to finally be rid of your presence. Naruto stated to Sasuke, shocking him a little. However, there's something that I need from you, Sasuke, and I've spent far too much time and effort to simply let it slip away. What are you talking about, dope? Sasuke asked of him with an irate confusion. You are making even less sense than you usually do. Is this some kind of a game? That Naruto let out another chuckle. Oh, Sasuke. I am finally done playing games. Naruto told him with a vicious smile, before disappearing from Sasuke's sight, shocking him. And this is who I are. That very next moment, Sasuke found himself kicked with incredible force into the statue, crushing its surface and being buried a few centimeters in it, with Sasuke. Pain, as he nearly felt his spine break. What the bloody hell? Sasuke asked, as he regained focus, seeing Naruto calmly walking to him, while he got back on his feet. How? How did you do it? Like why you are like him. Sasuke's mind instinctively went to Itachi, for only he could so easily get a jump on him. Oh, trust me, Sasuke, I am nothing like your dear old brother. Naruto responded, while Sasuke was struggling to stay steady on his feet, with Naruto tilting as he. A thought. Looks like I underestimated your power up a little. Oh well, you are still alive, and that's what really matters. I don't know what you are trying to accomplish here, Naruto, but my days of playing ninja with you Konoha are over. Sasuke stated to him, as he readied himself. Orochimaru, and there is nothing you can do to stop me. To that Naruto merely smirked, and then responded. By all means, be my guest, Sasuke. Naruto responded to Sasuke, shocking him. In all actuality, I am not trying to stop you or get you back to Konoha. All I want. That you have, and once I have it, you can go wherever you so desire. So, why not surprise me and actually let me have what I want, without me having to beat you? Tone made it clear to Sasuke that Uzumaki had absolute confidence in his ability to defeat Sasuke. Whatever the hell you want from me, you are going to have to take it from me by force. Sasuke stated and then charged Naruto, who smiled at the prospect. As you wish. Naruto responded, and then evaded a punch from Sasuke, before catching his arm like it was nothing. At least I can finally let off some steam. NAR. Confusing Sasuke. What? Before he could even state his confusion, Sasuke Uchiha found himself propelled into the air from a powerful uppercut, forcing him to spat out blood. Bifo appeared in midair and then kicking Sasuke back down, forcing him to crash hard on his back into the ground, with Naruto landing just a few steps away. You know, after being forced to look after you and saving your life all those times, this feels very satisfying. More so than I had expected. Naruto remarked. Up to Sasuke and picked him up by his hair, bringing him to his eye level. Are you still with me, Sasuke? Don't tell me you are already out of the game. How can you be so strong? Sasuke asked of him. Isth that, because of the N9-tailed beast? Sasuke weakly said, with Naruto chuckling at. Oh Sasuke. This is who I really am, what my true power is, and it has nothing to do with that fox stuck inside me. Naruto told him, as he grabbed Sasuke by him up even more. You have no idea just how refreshing it is, to finally stop playing the fool after so long. I derail, and I am on a timetable here, so hang in moment. Promise it will not hurt. In style, soul transfer. Naruto said, and then from Sasuke's body into Naruto flowed what appeared to be raw chakra, and while not feel any pain, he clearly felt like Naruto had just taken from him something extremely valuable, something that made him who he was. What are you? Once the transferring was complete, Naruto finally dropped Sasuke onto the ground, while he apparently admired himself. What? What did why? Me? Naruto looked down on Sasuke and spoke up to him. Nothing that you will be missing, Sasuke, I assure you. Just the soul of your ancestor that has evaded oblivion for far too long and made life miserable for those he possessed. Just like the one that sat in me did. Naruto told him, further confusing Sasuke, yet he was far too weak to do anything, as Naruto had literally beaten H. And now, Yin-Yang style, incarnation. Naruto clapped his hands, and then the whole area was engulfed in extremely dense red chakra, with Naruto's body literal. The red chakra, forming what appeared to be a cocoon. Sasuke was feeling that chakra practically burning his flesh and boiling his blood, for it was like being close to the sun and he felt like if he stayed there for far too long. Fortunately for him, soon the chakra began to return into the cocoon, before it all went there, and then the crimson object glowed blinding white, before it sent Fina light, nearly blinding Sasuke permanently. If he had a Sharingan active, neither his eyes nor his mind would have survived that day, and so he merely lost conscience. Moments. Once he came back to it, he opened his eyes through pain and stress, and then he saw a young man, at the very prime of his life, standing and admiring himself. Lean and fit, lacking neither bulk nor finesse, with both in equal measure on him, balanced out perfectly, with a fair complexion on his skin. He stood at 6.2 feet, with white hair framing his aristocratic and strong face, with golden-colored eyes of unnatural beauty to them, with which he examined and admired himself in all its UNC. So, this is what she meant by manifesting my true self. I rather like this new me. The man's voice was new, and yet so familiar that it allowed Sasuke to finally was. And Naruto? He asked weakly, with the man finally turning to face Sasuke, smiling at him. Ah, Sasuke, I've all but forgotten you were here. Apologies for the show, a small side effect. The man, or rather knew Naruto, spoke to him, before he grabbed the ground and produced a sealing scroll, taking out of it a new change of clothes, quickly putting them on. Good thing I've come prepared. Wouldn't want to have someone else's garments right after I've become my real self. Naruto said, as he finished tidying up his garments, consisting of the silver-white coat with red tie beneath it and black pants and shoes, without a single signature of the leaf on it. What? What have you done? Sasuke asked of him, as he finally gathered enough strength to get on his feet, yet too weak to fight, with Naruto looked right at him. Have you become? I have achieved my liberation, Sasuke. Liberation from Leaf, from the chains they've put on me, from the council and Hokage to its people. I am finally free, Sasu stated to him with a smile, as he walked to him, stopping at just a distance for a strike. So, to borrow your earlier words, my days of playing ninja with Konoha. And now I am finally free. Sasuke was processing the words he heard come out from Naruto, finding it as unbelievable as what he had just witnessed. This doesn't make any sense. Sasuke responded. You can't just betray Konoha like that. Naruto blinked with a little surprise at Sasuke, as he had. Shocking. And what makes you say that? You think that you alone have the right to leave the village, while everyone else just has to put up with its hypocrisy, lies and play. People in power? Naruto chuckled at Sasuke, before he regained his seriousness. If anyone has all the right reason to leave that hellhole, that's me, Sasuke. All had been nothing more than torment, misery and veritable agony, my existence and my life reduced to nothing more than a pawn and tool in the hands of those bastards, who thought they owned me like a thing of theirs. All of them, Sarutobi, the council, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Kakashi, they all thought they could just use me for means, for their precious village, to serve their vaunted will of fire. Naruto practically spat it out. Then all this time. For how long? Sasuke tried to wrap his head around it all. How long have I hated the village? I believe I did so from the moment I could understand that the world around hated me, so I hated the village back. Naruto are referring to what I just did. I've been planning this for 8 years, ever since I turned 5, since the day when the villagers nearly had done me in during one of the when I met someone who had opened my eyes on the world, who I was and the truth. Are you talking about the Nine Tails? Sasuke asked of him, with Naruto shaking his head. Oh no, Sasuke. You see, along with the soul of the Kyuubi, Lord Fourth had also sealed inside of me another entity, something which had helped him and his wife's fateful night and leave with their children. Naruto revealed to Sasuke, shocking him. Oh yeah, you don't know about it, that they are alive and well. Anyway, was left in the village as bait, a diversion for the enemies of the Fourth, while he and his wife trained and brought up their precious holders of Kyuubi's power. And also resides a being not of this world, one that had been robbed of its freedom, power and even body by those two bastards, and so, on the brink of my death, she finally met, and then we formed a pact. What are you talking about? Sasuke still didn't understood what Naruto was talking about. What is this entity? Well, you could call it a contract. She will help me achieve my freedom from Leaf and gain power not seen for millennia, and I will help her regain that which she continued. As for what it is, I doubt you had ever heard about her, but she is what some could call a demon. A being outside of our world, one that had existed creation of the world of shinobi, and who possesses powers that could make even Kyuubi look tame. She is known as Gremory, so if you are interested, ask Orochi. Get to him about her. I imagine he would have plenty to tell you about her. And you are just going to let me go, just like that? Sasuke still couldn't believe Naruto, who simply nodded to him. Like I said earlier, you can go wherever you wish. I've already taken all that I needed from you. Naruto responded to Sasuke, before he raised his head. Though these two may mind you leave Konoha. Sasuke looked to where Naruto was looking, and saw Kakashi Hatake and Jiraiya both looking at Naruto with clearest shock. While Naruto simply smirked at them. So then, did you enjoy my little confession? You knew they were there? Sasuke asked of Naruto. Of course, why else would I monologue so much? Just so you would understand what is happening. Maybe a surprise to you, Sasuke, but you hardly warrant that privilege. Naruto responded, without even looking at Sasuke. Unlike these two. I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Naruto smiled at the two, as they've the statue onto the ground. Naruto, do you have any idea as to what you have done? Jiraiya asked of Naruto. You couldn't even begin to comprehend. Comprehend what? That I've ruined your master plan decades in the making, that I've spat in the face of your prophecy and all the sacrifices Konoha has made? With a vicious smile. Why, that was the very intention behind my plan, Toad Sage, to hurt you for all the years you've made my life miserable. And I am not yet have the Wonder Twins and their precious parents to pay a visit. The clear killing intent behind Naruto's words wasn't lost on anyone. Naruto, you can't do this. Lord Forth and Lady Kushina, they are your parents and their children are your sisters. They had to make a difficult decision on T. You must understand that whatever that demon had told you, it only uses you for its own means. Jiraiya told Naruto. Look, kid, it's not too late. Just come with you. And we'll work it out. And how, exactly? By wiping out my memory again? Indoctrinating me through Yamanaka one more time, or we'll be seals again? Naruto asked of Jiraiya, making all about what was done to him. You can thank Gremory for protecting my mind, for otherwise I would indeed have ended up as a knucklehead idiot. And as for one's own means, I could say the same about you and those two, for that is exactly what you did with me and Gremory. Even still, there is still a chance to do the right thing, Naruto. Kakashi spoke up. Come back with us and Sasuke, in. You do not get it, do you, Kakashi? I have long since made my choice, and you should know by now that I never go back on my own decision. Naruto told him, Sasuke. And as for you, Sasuke, I think I'll lend you a helping hand, so give my regards to the snake Sannin. Without saying another word, Naruto put his hand shoulder, and then the Uchiha was gone from sight, shocking both of Konoha's veteran shinobi. What? What did you do to him? Jiraiya shouted in shock. Delivered him in the hands of Orochimaru, just like he wanted. Naruto responded like it was but a trifle. After all the planning and the effort I put in just to get in. Seeing it all come to fruition, I felt it was right to be magnanimous. Plus it's always a joy to stick it to you, Konoha. At this moment, both of the shinobi readied to D. Naruto, with simply smiled at them. Whatever the hell you've become now, you've just signed your death warrant, kid. Jiraiya stated to him, as he and Kakashi prepared to attack him. You may be Uchiha brat, but you are 100 years too young to even think of tangling with us. To this Naruto simply chuckled. Surrender now, Naruto, and Lady Hokage may be merciful upon you. Kakashi told him. Do not force us to kill you. To this Naruto almost laughed. Oh, you would be fortunate to simply survive me now. Naruto responded to them, as the two were about to attack him. However, as much as I would like to salvo opportunity, I do have places to be, so I'll leave you with a parting gift. With style, deep forest emergence. Naruto weaved the hand signs, and in the very next, earth erupted as the colossal trunks of trees sprouted all around them. Within mere seconds, the entire valley of the End and surrounding grounds were once more transformed, as the statues of Madara Uchiha and Hashirama Senjuko. New forest and trees came to existence with such swiftness and power that the ground shook for miles around. The lake, river and waterfall were completely covered massive trees, while the forest around them now looked like bushes, as the massive creations span miles upon miles, reaching hundreds of meters in height. Such sight had not been seen since the days of Hashirama Senju, with the area now looking a lot more like Forest of Death, and in the depths of it, Kakashi Hatake were struggling to free themselves from the vines and branches, which threatened to crush them to death. At the last second, Jiraiya had managed to perform a su, which saved both him and Kakashi, as they were now on top of Gamabunta, chief of Toad Clan. Jiraiya, where the hell did you just summon me? I can't even move in here, what is this damn hellhole? Gamabunta demanded an answer. Bunta, there's no time to explain. You've got to take us to MT Mayaboku, and send a message to Minato and Tsunade. Jiraiya urged him. Naruto. He's gone rogue. That dumb pipsqueak who couldn't even summon me without Fox's help. What's so threatening about him? Gamabunta asked of him. He's just AD. The real power inside Minato's kids, and he's got next to no training, so. Bunta, this forest is Naruto's doing. I don't know how, but that brat had somehow gotten this kind of power, and worse yet, he has been playing us all for fools for. Said to Gamabunta. He knows everything, and he has been in contact with Gremory. Hearing that name immediately made Gamabunta shake a little. Gremory? How in the world did he? You fool. Pa warned you all that one doesn't mess with demons, especially one of her caliber. And you fuck her and used her as power battery to put those seals, before sealing her inside Naruto. Gamabunta raged. What did you think was going to happen? Really think that even if you've stripped it of its power, you would be safe from her? Look, just do as I say. If we don't hurry, gods know what that boy will do. Jiraiya urged him, as he already had a very bad feeling of what was going to happen. Namake's mansion. Sometime later. Situated just outside of the fire capital, the Namake's clan's mansion wasn't exactly the most lavish or expansive out there in the fire capital, but compared to the clan's adobes, it stood out as rather luxurious and spacious in grounds and in buildings. This came from the benefit of the Namake's clan having long served direct daimyo and having made their way from mere vagabond ninja clan into nobility of Land of Fire, while still maintaining their traditions and ways of shinobi, though to the daimyo instead of Hokage. This granted the clan a certain level of independence in actions and ways, but the clan's leadership still preferred to maintain at relations with Konoha, hence why from time to time they sent out members of their clan to study and train as regular shinobi, with the last one being Minato Nami, the venerable fourth Hokage. Born as but another son of the Namake's branch family, he had managed to rise above his station and had earned himself the spot in the main family, which allow his daughters from being born into branch family, and hence subjected to life of servitude. Much like Hyuga clan of Konoha, Namake's clan was also divided into branch families, with the former being rulers, and the latter servants, with the division having been created hundreds of years ago after a civil war within the clan. Would later become main family had won and enforced their will on the losers, and now their descendants were still paying the price, living as little more than serva existence relegated to being to that of serfdom, with only select few from the branch family being allowed to become members of the main family. Centuries of unequal treatment, power plays within the clan, ambitions and more have long since eroded much of unity within the supposedly powerful clan, and needed for a new calamity to erupt is but a single spark. And that spark was currently moving towards the gates of the compound, in form of Naruto Uzumaki and his observing 5 Namake's members guarding the gates. Once he reached the gates, the Namake's guards and their leader prepared to attack him, with the latter speaking to him in an arrogant tone. Halt right there, outsider. You are trespassing upon the Namake's clan's soil, and you even dare to approach our home. The man's clear disdain and arrogance they could be to Naruto, while he put his hand on his blade. You have one chance to remove yourself from my sight, before you taste my blade. Unfortunately, I cannot do that, for I have business with some of your clan's members beyond that gate. Naruto responded, with the man and other guards Aurea their weapons in expectation of trouble. Seeing as you aren't likely to let me in peacefully, I shall ask this instead: are all of you members of the branch family, or belong to the main family? Naruto suddenly asked of them, with the leader looking at him with confusion. What difference does it make to you, outsider? He asked of him, before he answered in an arrogant tone. But I will indulge this last request of yours, so here is why. Kenta Namake's, and the keeper of gates and proud member of the main family of Namake's, in command of these serfs from the branch families, and I shall take myself. He proudly announced, with Naruto smiling to him. That is all that I needed to hear. Thank you. Naruto responded. And then Kenta Namake's body being set right through the thick gates and landing on the grounds of Namake's clans as a mangled and broken mess of flesh. Naruto calmly walking inside the compound's grounds, with the rest of the guards frozen in place through Genjutsu. And just as Naruto had cleared out of the dust had created, he found himself staring at what appeared to be the entirety of the fighting force of Namake's clan. Armed and ready, they were prepared to destroy an man of an age just a few years younger than later third Hokage, vaguely resembling Minato Namake's, stepped forth and spoke to Naruto. You must have a death wish, if you dare to intrude upon our sanctum like you did. The man said with clearest disdain. Not even in the great shinobi wars was invaded so boldly, for all knew what awaited them. Whatever is it that you've come seeking, you'll not find it, so make peace with your life's choices while you still see. Yes, you do appear to be half correct in it. Naruto said with a carefree tone, confusing the Namake's clan head. So, Minato and Kushina are away for some REA. Twins are inside. That's a bit disappointing, but oh well, I was ultimately after them from the start, so I'll just get them right away. The Namake's main family out their weapons and ready to fight, with the head of the Namake's family drawing out his clan's heirloom sword. Arrogant fool, if you think you'll just be able to get past us, then you are even madder than thought. The man called at Naruto. I am Yorinobu Namake's, the Go. Namake's clan, and in 100 battles I've fought, not one enemy had ever managed to even wound me. What makes you think? The man was about to go on was cut short when a crimson segmented chain in a form of a thin barbed scale tail with a spear's tip on its end, pierced his heart and found its way out of his back. Moving his hand with grace, Naruto drove his own adamantine chain straight out of the dead Namake's clan's head and then sent them at the main family member, and decapitating a dozen in one swing before anyone could react. The moment that the other members of the main family started to move, Naruto simply smiled, extended the chain and sent it flying at blinding speed, with its sharp tip piercing and stringing along all that its master wanted. Before any Namake's could even Naruto's single chain had not just reached them, but quite literally strung them along itself, forming a gruesome scene of over 30 men of Namake's floating in the air, all pierced and connected via the chain. Dispelling the chain and letting the bodies drop, Naruto turned his head towards the survivors and spoke up. Now then, does this fulfill the terms of our agreement on my end, Haruto? Naruto suddenly asked of one of them, with the man soon responding. I see you weren't kidding, when you said that your people were hungry for blood. Naruto commented, as he looked at the end of this slaughter, with Haruto turning. Regrets over the deed? For hundreds of years, these bastards have turned our mothers, daughters and sisters into pleasure slaves, selling them off to each other or to whoever offered while men were serfs and toiled under their whips, while the main family reaped all the rewards. Haruto responded to Naruto. Minato was supposed to change it, promised, yet instead he chose to embrace being one of the slavers. So, no regrets whatsoever, and unlike him, you did keep your word, Naruto. Haruto noted why. Which Naruto chuckled. With all the lies and deceptions I've had to use, being able to keep my word has always been something of a comfort to me. Naruto noted, before speaking up in tone. Now then, I take that in the event of an attack the twins were instructed to be evacuated, seeing as I'm no longer sensing their presence in here. Am I right? Nothing escapes you. Yes, the moment you showed up to our sensors, Yorinobu had the twins sent to a safe house outside of the premises. Haruto responded. Kushina and their trusted mainline members know where it is, so I'm afraid I was unable to keep that part of the bargain. Not to worry, I've already accounted for it, and I have it under control. A few more minutes, and all will be over. Naruto assured him, before turning towards the In the meantime, I'll entertain myself with these two. Naruto said with a smile, as he, Haruto and the rest of the Namake's clan saw Minato Namake's and Kushina appear and observe the slaughter, already prepared for the battle. So, Jiraiya was not lying. Of all the people, you were last one I would expect to commit such heinous crimes, Naruto. Minato stated with clear anger in his eyes. Simply smirked at him. Not only did you betray the Leaf, your comrades and friends, but to attack our clan like this. My own son has become worse than scum. Commented, as he drew out his signature kunai. Like you and Kushina are holier than thou, and if you really didn't expect me to go rogue after all that Leaf had put me through, then you are either too naive, or overconfident, Minato. Naruto commented, as he took in the sight in their eyes. Besides, we both know that I've stopped being your son long ago, so it's pointless. Down that road. At this point, the sole connection we share is the fact that you have ruined my life since the day I was born, and I am here to collect on the debt, yo. And what is it that you seek, Naruto? Revenge's path with no end, leading only to loneliness and suffering. Kushina told him. Surrender now, son. Even with my chains, you are outmatched. Against the combined might of Namake's clan and the two of us, not even Madara Uchiha would be able to win here today. I think you overestimate your fighting strength. Don't they, Haruto? Naruto turned to Haruto, who nodded to him, shocking both Minato and Kushina. Take a class. 2, and see that all those that would have lent you a hand are all dead, and those that remain would love nothing more than to see you gone. The remaining Nam. More than ready to prove Naruto's words true. No. It can't be. Haruto, how could you do this to our family? Minato asked of him, with Haruto scoffing at him. You've helped Naruto orchestrate this entire thing. Rest of them would kill our family, all for what? What did Naruto promise to you? Wealth, power, forbidden jutsu? Only what you had promised to me and our mother all those years ago, right before you went to your precious village, freedom from the main family. Haruto RESP. Motion to the gruesome scene around them. Only unlike you and your harlot, who were all too happy to become one of those leeches, he delivered on his prom. Fullest. Who do you call harlot, you bastard? Kushina called out with anger, her hair splitting into the dreaded 9 tails. I'll bury you and your wretched wife and kids alive. Hands. And after that, she sent out her golden chains at Haruto, only for a single chain from Naruto to destroy them, shocking Kushina and Minato, for Naruto didn't have broken a sweat at that. I'm afraid that you won't be getting your wish today, Kushina, for your fight is with me and me alone. Naruto told them with a vicious smile. I'd recommend with. Here, Haruto. It's going to become rather inhospitable in here for anyone. Hope you won't mind some collateral damage along the way. Not at all. Do as you please, Naruto. Haruto told him, and then signaled for all of the Namakes to evacuate, and they did so immediately, swiftly leaving the grounds entirely deserted, with only Naruto and his former parents being sole people present within 5-mile radius. I will ask you, Naruto, what is it that you seek to accomplish here today, Naruto? Minato asked of him, trying to comprehend what Naruto's plan really was. Do I? Killing us today, you'll have achieved something of meaning? You have already betrayed the Leaf, aided an enemy of the village, attacked and nearly killed your son, the Sannin. By all accounts, you've become as big of a traitor as Itachi Uchiha. Do you think that this is something that Leaf and the other villages will let slide? Oh, but you see, I am not here to kill either of you, Minato. Naruto told him. Since you and Kushina are so curious, I'll tell you exactly why I've come here. I'm a thing is the masked man that nearly killed you all those years ago. Naruto smirked, with Minato and Kushina widening their eyes in realization. You are after Ninetales' power. Kushina said, before her hand reached her katana. You are planning to release the beast and have it destroy Konoha? Is Fiend has been using you for? Naruto, if you extract the beast from the Jinchuriki, then the host will die, unless they are as tough as Uzumaki are. I am aware of that, naturally. Naruto finished for Kushina. As tempting as this thought is, that's not exactly Mind. While what you've left of QB inside of me was useful, I do need it at full power for what I have planned next, hence why I am here. Then you are wasting your time, Naruto. If you are as knowledgeable as you think you are, then you should have already figured out that your sisters aren't here stated to Naruto. By now, they are halfway to Konoha by now, while you are still here with us. And with this, Minato threw his kunai straight at Naruto. Before are you? With full speed. Naruto responded by charging at Minato with full speed, kunai flying straight at him, simply dodging him by moving his head a little bit away, right as he and Minute. Their Razengans. And then, the moment Naruto was about to send his right at Minato, the yellow flash disappeared before his eyes and reappeared above and behind, catching his kunai much like he did 13 years ago. Then, mirroring his act on that faithful night, he struck his fully powered Rasengan into Naruto's back, crushing H. Full weight and power of the forbidden jutsu, seemingly destroying him. Once the dust and smoke had settled, all that remained was a crater and Minato on the bottom of it, looking at the mangled corpse of Naruto, thinking he and Kush. Slow clapping. Turning their eyes, they widened, as they saw Naruto standing not 5 meters away, clapping with a smile, completely and utterly unharmed, while T. bottom of the crater dissolved into compost, revealing itself to being a clone of some kind. So, this is the infamous flying Raijin Jutsu in combination with the Rasengan. Very impressive. Naruto complimented with a final clap. I can see how someone you would be caught off guard with it. But I had 8 years to do my homework, and Gremory was more than happy to provide the details I needed to fill in the gaps. But that's impossible, that couldn't have been a clone, it was too powerful. Kushina said with shock, as her sensory abilities kicked in again. Jiraiya told us that an idea on how to properly divide chakra among clones, so it's impossible he could have made a decoy. To that Naruto simply laughed. I think it is safe to assume that all you believed you knew about me is a subject of serious debate. And as for the clones, I've had more than enough time to moss aspect, since I've learned long before I stole that scroll. Naruto told them, as then additional 20 clones revealed themselves to Minato and Kushina, surrounding the compound. Simply getting more numbers will not improve your odds, Naruto. Minato told him as he readied his numerous kunai. No matter what, you will not find victory. That Naruto simply laughed at him. The next second, the entirety of the Namikaze compound became an imitation of hell, as the clones exploded with enough force to flatten every tree in the 3 miles. Vaporizing all that was within a mile's radius, turning the grounds, buildings and woods into burning hellscape, where not even microbes could survive. Next moment, a quick sound of the teleportation was heard throughout the safe house, as Minato and Kushina reappeared in the world, with the 4th Hokage having managed in time and teleport them out of the danger. His choice was as obvious to Minato as it was to Kushina, for it was the hideout where they were supposed to find an event of an attack on the compound, known to very select few, or so they had thought. Without even noticing, sensing or hearing a thing, both Minato and Kushina found themselves pinned into the wall, with a crimson scale chain sticking out of each. Pierced their shoulders, disabling their right arms. Getting over the sharp pain, they looked and saw Naruto staring right back at them with a smile, while their Narumi laid immobile on the floor, their guards all dead. Immediately realizing what had happened, they both had attempted to set themselves free, yet found completely unable to do anything, as the chains pinned them very hard to the wall, and their chakra was not responding to them. You certainly took your time getting here. Naruto commented with a smile as he turned to look at the girls. Sadly, you've missed the entire drama of reunion and impressions, but to sum it all up for you, they were rather shocked and surprised to see me, but were resolute in refusing my request. So, I had to persuade them. The last with a smirk. Naruto, how could you? Why you killed your own sisters? Minato said through the pain, as he tried to pry himself away from the chain, but failed. The girls are alive, though quite a bit lighter on the chakra side, so to speak. Naruto told Minato, as he observed their collective struggles to get out of the chains. Bother if I were in your spot. Unlike Kushina's chains, mine are a good deal more powerful and have a few additional attributes to them, such as nullification of AP, transmission and flow. In other words, I have just rendered both of you veritably powerless and you are now completely at my mercy, much like you had done with years ago. Naruto reminded them, taking no small amount of pleasure in the fact that he had rendered his birth parents to the same position he had to endure for. Ugh, and what? What do you intend to do now? Kushina asked of him with a near snarl. Will you prove to be a complete scumbag and kill us? At that moment moved, and both Minato and Kushina cried out in agony, as it felt like a pulse of chakra was sent through their systems, lighting their nerves and chakra network up. Now that is a very tempting idea and one that Gremory approves of as well. Naruto admitted, seemingly preparing to do just that, before he finally ceased agony. Parents through chakra, finally letting them breathe a little bit easier. But I think I'll hold off doing that just now. After all, it would be quite unfair from me to let Y with just a quick and decisive death. Oh no, you do not get to die until I decide so. So for now, I'll just collect some advance payment. And then, Naruto's chains. With blinding speed and in the moment's notice both Kushina and Minato were again on the ground, only now each missing their respective right arm as they fell in. The two winced from pain. And Naruto. Whatever I is that you are planning, W will stop you. Minato promised to him, with Naruto smiling in a vicious way to Minato. You and Gremory. Why? Away with this. Keikonoha. We will find you and stop you. To that Naruto simply knelt before Minato and spoke to him directly. Feel free to try, Minato. Naruto challenged him, as he rose up and looked at both him and Kushina. Jiraiya and Kakashi are on their way here. Do try not to bleed before they arrive, for it would spoil my mood. Till next we meet. And with this said, Naruto teleported out of the hideout that very moment, leaving the Hokages defeated and beaten in the pool of the parents' blood. 3 days later. Konoha's hospital. Though it had been 3 days already since one of the biggest disasters in the history of Leaf Village, Konoha's leadership and those who had created their plan were starting to realize the full extent of the calamity that Naruto had brought upon them. The former blonde knucklehead prankster indeed had pulled the biggest PRA. Having completely and utterly fooled all into believing that he was exactly what he was supposed to be, a headstrong dim-witted fool, easy to use and manipulate. Greatest ability is deception, then Naruto had set a new gold standard in that category, for he had fooled the entirety of Konoha, from citizens all the way to the Hokage, and had now done what hasn't been done since Madara's days. To say that Konoha's position was precarious would be the understatement of the decade, for Konoha had lost their most powerful advantage they had over all of strongest tailed beast in existence. And to make the matters even worse was the fact that Naruto had rendered both Minato and Kushina into cripples, having Seve arms completely off, with the news of it spreading like wildfire through the lands, as well as the ones of their survival. Fortunately, they did manage to avoid the fact that Kyuubi was no longer in their possession, but that was a small blessing, for no one had any idea as to where did Naruto go, what his plans were and what do with Kyuubi. In order to try and piece it together, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Kushina, Minato and Kakashi were gathered in the hospital room, allocated to Minato and Kushina, where they staying and healing. The first one to speak up was Minato, as he addressed Jiraiya and Tsunade. Have you been able to locate Naruto? He asked directly of them, with both shaking their heads. No luck on this front. He just up and vanished without a trace, and we have neither a clue, nor a hint of where he could be. Tsunade answered. The ANBU Dispat Land of Waves returned empty-handed, as did the ones sent to Land of Waterfalls and Land of Winds, or any other possible location. Clearly, the brat knew where looking for him, and has left not a clue as to where he would go. He ain't much of a brat anymore. Jiraiya sighed in a defeated way. I've tried to reverse summon him to MT Mayaboku, but it turns out that he had somehow CANC contract with the Toads. I've checked the scroll, and where his name was there appeared only a blank space. When I showed it to Ma and Pa, they were as shocked as. It ain't never happened before. They say it's almost impossible for someone to just up and break their contract like it had never existed. Under normal circumstances, maybe, but with Gremory, it's more than likely that she would know of a way to break a contract with a summon, as powerless as SH. Said with a bitter tone, before letting out a defeated sigh. Mito always said that her knowledge exceeds that of all Konoha's scrolls and secrets, and I'm inclined to. Right on that. Forgive me for asking, but why exactly did you seal such a dangerous entity inside Naruto? Kakashi asked of them. Sensei, was there no alternative, other than tea? Unfortunately, there wasn't. Minato sighed. On that night, while Kushina had summoned Gremory through their contract, I summoned the Shinigami, and we ma Gremory's life in exchange for his assistance in sealing Kyuubi. He agreed, and so Kyuubi was split between the three, with Naruto taking the soul, but there was Al. Of Gremory's soul. Much like tailed beasts, demons are able to return to life after a certain period of time, even if they were physically destroyed, so the Shinigami. Naruto. We believe that the seal would prevent Naruto from ever making a contact with Gremory, but it seems we've underestimated her. Naruto did mention that he had been planning this since he turned 5. Now I remember, on his 5th birthday, the villagers had managed to catch him and B.A. point of putting him into a state clinical death. Kakashi recalled. The ANBU were slow to react, and they nearly did him for good that time, and he had to spend OV in the hospital until he actually woke up. Could it be that this event had somehow triggered his meeting with Gremory? It is likely that it is the case here. Minato agreed, as he thought about all that he had heard and knew so far. Perhaps that experience had somehow loosened the. Gremory had found a loophole through which she contacted Naruto. Either way, it's clear that without her assistance, Naruto would never have become Muizen. Maybe, but that brat also had done a damn good work of playing the part of the fool. Jiraiya spoke up. No, it was something else entirely, Lord Jiraiya, I am certain of it. Kakashi spoke up. The fact that Naruto only revealed it after he had gotten to Sasuke, and that massive burst of chakra right beforehand. It's safe to say that Naruto only achieved it after he had gotten to Sasuke. Maybe had used Sasuke's chakra to Achi transformation. With the amount of power and chakra that the kid achieved, I doubt that the Uchiha would have been able to give him enough. No, there is clearly something that Jiraiya noted, before noticing something. He was also able to use wood style, but there are none alive who could have taught him that, and deep forest emergence. Signature move. How would he have been able to know the signs for it? The only source on those is the Forbidden Scroll of Seals, but only Hokage has access to it. Had access, at least. Until that brat had stolen and replaced it with a fake one. Tsunade revealed to everyone, shocking all. When I heard of the wood style, I decided to check the scroll, and I found out that it was nothing more but a bloody dud. The brat had put on it a special genjutsu seal that showed whoever was delusion of what they most expected to see. On the night when Brat stole the actual scroll, he had switched it with the dud, and Sensei didn't suspect a thing. Wait, does that mean that the Forbidden Scroll is also amiss? Minato asked, with Tsunade shaking her head. No, we had it back, at least for a moment, before it was destroyed. Tsunade revealed to them. Naruto had left the scroll in his very apartment where our ANBUH. But the moment they've decided to open and check its contents, the scroll combusted and was burned to ashes. The brat clearly had left it as a message, stating had any need of it, but wasn't going to let us have it either. Ugh, it just keeps getting better and better. Jiraiya said with a groan. I do have to wonder, when and how did he have the time to learn from it? I mean, he was surveillance most of the time, and had next to no opportunity to act independently. Shadow clones. Kushina answered, getting everyone's attention. Naruto said it himself, that he learned the shadow clone jutsu long before he stole the scroll. He would still have more than enough chakra to make clones, and with them he could virtually be in several places at once, without drawing attention, and if he shadow clones, then it's only natural he would have learned transformation beforehand. The brat did seem to have a special talent towards it, not gonna lie. Jiraiya admitted. So he had the clones doing the studying, training and whatever else he collaborating with Naruto and his rebels. Speaking of which, what's going to be done with them? Jiraiya asked of Tsunade, who let out a defeated sigh. I was prepared to send a company to deal with them, but then Fire Daimyo sent a missive, informing me that he had personally resolved the situation, determining Happen was in favor of him. Apparently, Naruto presented to Daimyo proof of Yorinobu and main family covertly supporting Fire Daimyo's enemies, preparing to coup, and so Naruto and his branch family took action. Tsunade let out a sigh. In short, Naruto and his Namikes are now seen as heroes and protectors of land. For Minato and Kushina, since Lord Daimyo knew nothing of your survival, he is more than a little suspicious of you. As it stands, if we make any form of move Namikes will be signing a confession of participating in conspiracy against Lord Daimyo. Meaning that now Naruto controls Clan Namikes, and Naruto has a powerful ally in him. He and Gremory had planned this perfectly. Minato admitted with clear. The worst part is that he didn't even have to forge a thing about the coup. You mean that there are evidences of your participation in it? Tsunade asked of Minato, who nodded to her. Then why the hell didn't he reveal it to Daimyo right? Probably because Naruto didn't want it. Minato suggested. Still, with all of this planning, with all of these plots, he still needed to find some way to train himself. Have self-trained himself like he did, and even with Gremory's help, there's only so much he could do to physically improve himself. He had to have had a teacher, training without drawing any suspicion towards himself. Those chains. Kushina muttered. What about them, Kushina? Minato asked of her. Naruto's chains. The chains are each unique and are said to be manifestation of an individual Uzumaki's soul and will, and Naruto's are his own, and yet. I think. Likeness once. Kushina spoke up. Back in Yuzu, there were stories of a legendary warrior queen, who had transcended mortality and become a ruler of her own REA. Her signature weapon was one of a barbed crimson-red spear. It's said that she also took in apprentices, and those that survived her brutal training became unrivaled. You don't actually think that Naruto had actually managed to become one of those apprentices, do you, Kushina? Tsunade asked of her. Considering all that he has done so far, I think it's safe to think that this is also a possibility. Kushina said. However, what bothers me the most is what is Naruto. He is Kyuubi in its entirety, and with his new power, he would have more than enough power to launch an attack, and yet he just left without a trace. It could very well be that his plan doesn't involve attacking Konoha just yet. Kakashi pitched in. Perhaps he has the same plan as the Akatsuki? Maybe. Oh no! Kushina's face suddenly gone pale, as realization finally dawned on her. Oh of course, how could we not see it? It was obvious from the start. Kushina, what are you talking about? Minato asked of her. Naruto. He is planning to revive Gremory. Kushina stated to all. This is why he needed Kyuubi. Meanwhile. Island of Yuzu. The Isle of Yuzu was once a site of a thriving community of a powerful and feared Uzumaki clan, the place where sealing arts were said to have been born and whe. Most powerful warriors in all of elemental nations were said to come from. Once this was indeed a sight to behold, but now it was nothing more but ruins in Dezo. Graveyard, serving only as haunted grounds for all those Uzumaki who had perished at the hands of the combined might of 4 shinobi villages and their forces. A sin. against 4/5 of all shinobi forces in the world. The thought made Naruto chuckle a little, not out of malice, but out of pride to be able to bear such a name. Were few things in which Naruto openly took pride, but his name, the one thing that truly he considered his own and belonging to none else, was one such thing, and where it had come from, about to do something that only a true Uzumaki would be able to accomplish. Even though it had been over 8 years now, he always envisioned that coup de grace of his plan would be delivered here, one place that always wished to visit. Knew for a fact that Konoha would never show up. After all, there was absolutely nothing of worth anymore in here, no secrets or jutsu to pillage, no Uzumaki to eat. Hence why the Isle of Yuzu had been abandoned for so very long and forgotten by all. This had made it a perfect spot for Naruto to secretly set up shop in here. Through of his clones he had covertly created something of a base of operations in here, complete with all that he would need to operate independently from all. It had endeavor to set it up without drawing anyone's notice, which was expedited quite a great deal after he had seized all of Gado's assets and rights on his shipping wave, without anyone noticing a thing. Truly, if only Konoha, Tsunade or anyone else knew of the fact that Naruto not only was he smarter than he appeared, but has also created himself quite a massive the shadows, engaging in all manners of trade and businesses, and all without showing his real face to anyone. Thanks to Gremry's teachings, he was able to open of businesses in various parts of the world through different aliases and identities, which served to further his ambitions and goals through stable funding. By the time ready to actually graduate, he was already richer than most of Konoha's clans put together, but he couldn't quite well show it. After all, he needed to maintain his was finally able to gain what he really needed from Konoha, or rather Sasuke, and that being the soul of Indra Otsutsuki. While he was waiting, he spent his time studying the Forbidden Scroll thoroughly and enjoying learning its many secrets, from its style to reanimation jutsu to interesting things. Once he was done, it seemed like fate was smiling upon him, as it delivered a perfect opportunity to get Sasuke, as he fled to Orochimaru, opportunity to get Indra's soul, and with it in his possession, he completed one of his main objectives: assimilation and obtainment of all the powers and abilities of an Indra. With his body already prepared for the new incarnation, thanks to Ashura's power, Naruto didn't have to waste time taking Indra's power bit by bit, and in one go, and so was reborn anew, free of all the bonds to Konoha and his former parents, a completely new being. And now was time to finally complete his plan. With the final pieces of the puzzle well in his hands, Naruto waved his hands and performed the forbidden jutsu. Forbidden summoning, Reaper. He called out, and soon on the ground opened up the portal into the void, from which materialized the Shinigami himself, Hulu. Naruto. You summon me, Naruto Uzumaki. State your business. Shinigami spoke in a voice that could only belong to death alone. Lord Shinigami, I have come to make a deal with you, for you possess that which I desire, while I hold that which interests you. Naruto called to him, clearly get interest. I wish for you to give me the body of the creature known as Gremry, and to return to this world the body of one known as Barghest. The demand plural. Shinigami. The Demon Duchess and the Black Hound of Destruction. That which you ask I had acquired through summons. What do you have to offer in exchange? Shinigami asked of him. I offer souls of Indra and Ashura for them, the two beings that had long since evaded true death and defied your will. Naruto responded, with Shinigami looking a clearest interest. I also hold in my possession Kyubi, and willing to part with its soul for good, but for an additional boon. And what boon would you, he who claimed the brother's powers and might for his own, and who holds the mightiest tailed beast? Shinigami asked. Powers of theirs I care not, but souls I shall take. Speak, what is it that you wish of me? I wish immunity from you, Shinigami. Should anybody decide to summon you through a summoning or jutsu in order to be used against me, I wish for you to stay my soul, until my time comes in due course. Naruto responded, with Shinigami clearly thinking it over. A very peculiar boon, but one I will grant to you, Naruto Uzumaki. Shinigami stated, with Naruto smiling to him, and Shinigami stretched his ghostly arm. Before taking from him the 3 souls he was promised, leaving Naruto with full power of Kyuubi and the integrated powers of the 2 brothers. You have to live. Word, I deliver now on my own. And with this, Shinigami produced from his being the dead husk of a massive black beast that resembled a horned dog, and a extremely beautiful red-haired woman, who put to shame all others that Naruto saw beforehand. Our deal is concluded, Lord Shinigami. I thank you for your time. Naruto bowed with respect, as the god of death left the realm of the leave, with Naruto ready to work. And now, the coup de grace. Yin-yang style, reincarnation. And with this, Naruto used the accumulated power of Kyuubi stored in him to revive 2 extra beings, as 2 souls flowed right out of him and towards their respective bodies. The isle shook from the sheer amount of energy being produced by Naruto, as he did something that not even Sage of 6 Paths could accomplish, and he was why he needed Kyuubi's powers, both yin and yang, to return to life the 2 beings of nigh equal power to it, if not greater. And now that the isle shook, Naruto succeeded, as the black beast of destruction finally awoke, its missing horn restored to it, and let out a howl, before it began to transform, and soon in its woman of divine beauty, blessed with immensity in power and physical strength, with long and wild luscious mane of pale golden hair, with one red and blue-green. Second one opened her Takwa eyes and looked at her own hands, finally having returned that which was taken from her. Once the ritual was complete, Barghest one to speak. I truly live again, she said with amazement, as she admired herself, before turning to see Gremory in all her beauty and uncovered glory. You have succeeded. Only one of your magnitude could ever achieve such a feat to that, Gremory chuckled lightly, as she turned her gaze towards the one who returned them to life. You grant me too much credit, Barghest. The one who deserves all the praises is our shared beloved over here, Gremory said with a sultry tone. You've done it, Em. With this she walked and claimed the lips of the man whom she groomed and who had claimed her heart. It wasn't long before Barghest stepped up and did the same as Gremory, as she nearly devoured her chosen husband and beloved, finally able to fully embrace and befits one with her feelings. And as Naruto reveled and enjoyed the company of his new wives, there was a strange and untouchable sense around the world, with it a promise of a great change. One that would come from the once forgotten and destroyed name, bearing the powers long thought gone. Chapter 2. All thought that Naruto was exactly what he seemed, a knucklehead with a big mouth. However, what none had expected was that it was a ruse, and during Sasuke mission, it finally falls. As Naruto reveals his true self, the nations and shinobi world are shaken to the core, as Naruto rises above men and shinobi. They thought he shall become the Demon King. Naruto's inner world. Naruto's age, 5 years. The last thing that Naruto remembered before he woke up was how he was first chased down by a mob of people, and then they basically mutilated him, available method to make him hurt. He has been through plenty of beatings before and he was used to pain, but today was different, because the people of quite literally out for blood this time, after his blood, and Naruto honestly believed that they had gotten their wish granted to them this time, for he right now, was either alive or not, or that he was in Konoha to begin with. The reasoning for it being that he found himself laying on the ground, with the blood-red skies above him, and when he had finally risen and taken a closer look of surroundings, he saw a nightmarish, corrupted and distorted version of Konoha all around him. I most certainly was enough to cause a person to have nightmare, Somehow, what he was seeing felt oddly familiar, like this was how he actually perceived Konoha, and the entire world in his own reality. But where the heck am I? Naruto asked. Where are all the people? And what is this place anyway? Was I kidnapped or something? No, my dear, you weren't kidnapped. This very place is a spiritual manifestation of your inner world, formed by your own senses, feelings, and experiences. Naruto. And from the thick fog before him appeared an extremely beautiful red-haired woman, dressed in noble garments that clearly showed all of her beauty. But in case fully understand, think of this place something inside your mind, where you currently are. By the look on his face, the woman understood that Naruto barely calmed. Okay. Naruto said unsurely. So, if I'm inside my own mind, then. Are you QB? Did you pull me in here? Naruto asked of her, curious of it, due to by the villagers before the beating that he had the nine-tailed fox inside of him, but the woman only chuckled before answering. No, I am not the nine-tailed fox demon that those ignorant sheep think you are. My name is Grummery, Naruto, and unlike the pitiful construct that those people demon, I am a true demon. Grummery stated to him with clear pride in her status, with Naruto looking at her with surprise, yet not fear. Curious. Usually, P.O. more extroverted reaction when they discern the nature of my being. What is that supposed to mean? Naruto asked of Grummery, who took a moment to process everything. My apologies. I have forgotten for a moment that you are but a child. What I meant is that people usually react with fear and terror, and not simply a surprise. Explained to Naruto, who understood her. Okay, I get it. I guess I am not like others after all. Naruto said with a sad tone, with Grummery putting her hand onto his cheek and speaking with sy. Every person is unique in their own way, and there is nothing wrong with it, Naruto. Take pride in who you are, for none will be who you are. Grummery imparted him, with Naruto feeling better. Now then, to answer your earlier question, Naruto, yes, I was the one to pull you in here. And as for how I was able to do it and that those people that attacked have done far worse than everyone else that had attacked you before. Your body was physically killed, but I had managed to pull inside, in order to preserve your life. After hearing these words, Naruto took a step back, processing what he just heard from Grummery. They killed me? Naruto took a breath in, as he tried to collect himself, and failed, as the realization set in. All I ever wanted was to be loved, to. They. Didn't want to hurt ANEO of them. At that moment, as Naruto began to shake and nearly spasm, Grummery rushed to his side, kneeling before, cupping his face with her hands. Naruto, please, look into my eyes. Focus on them and on my voice, and nothing else. Grummery's soothing and calming voice reached Naruto. You did absolutely to those people. You did not kill anyone or hurt anybody, and you are not the QB. You are an innocent and pure child, who had been wronged and used by selfish people. What has been and being done to you is a cruelty and injustice that one must not tolerate, but you do not deserve it, Naruto. Now, breath in and out. In and out. And after that, Naruto finally calmed down, with Grummery letting him go gently, before taking his hand and walking to the nearest bench and sitting down. Thank you. Nobody has ever said anything like that to me. Naruto admitted, before looking at Grummery. Are you sure you are a demon? To that Grummery true manner. Well, it would be more correct to say that I am a being of extraordinary characteristics, beyond those of common understanding and reasoning, but for the sake of most prefer to call me and those like me demons. Grummery responded in knowledgeable fashion. Though I am a demon, I and much of my kind are not inherent. You are not inherently evil, despite what those fools may think. I know my kind does not have the best of reputations, but personally, I am not what one would call, at least judging by standards of common human morality. Then, what are you doing in here? Naruto asked of Grummery. Why are you inside of me? Grummery's face hardened, as she knew that this was the hard point. I was imprisoned in you less than an hour after you were born, Naruto, alongside the soul of the QB. By your very parents. Gremory revealed to Naruto, with his eyes. And yes, before you ask, I know who they are and I will tell you everything that I know, and what you deserve to know, but first. Naruto, I require your promise that you will listen to my entire story, and not interrupt or disagree with me on any point, until I finish. I ask not out of personal interest, but out of concern. I promise to listen to everything, Gremory. Naruto promised, with Gremory sighing, before beginning her tale. Gremory held true to her word, and told Naruto all that she believed he had the right to be aware of, starting from the fact that she originally was a contracted fam. Uzumaki, the first holder of Kyuubi, before being passed on to Kushina Uzumaki, Naruto's mother. She told Naruto of the true nature of the tailed beasts, and of his birth, of his sisters Natsumi and Narumi, and of the attack that had happened on the night of their birth. She told him of his father, Minato Namikaze, and how the attack of a masked man and against the Kyuubi, and when the attacker was dealt with, then came the time to deal with Kyuubi. Once your father had transported you, Kushina and girls to the clearing, Kushina had summoned me through our contract, and had ordered me to assist Minato in Kyuubi. Though I will say that I detested her from the moment of our meeting, I complied with her order as per conditions of our contract, and unleashed my pow. Kyuubi. Gremory continued. While I was preoccupied, your father had summoned Shinigami into our world and then he made a deal with him, separated K from its soul and sealed 2 halves into his daughters, while the soul would go into you. The price for it was my powers and my life, and so I was used as Karank. Soul, weak and powerless, sealed inside of you against my choice, Naruto. And from then on I have resided within you, locked away within this corner of your inner. To commune with anyone, but perceiving all that is happening with and around you. They are alive, and they left me? Naruto had asked of Gremory, who nodded to him. Why? Why did they do it? Were they that afraid of that masked Ma? Partially, I think they were, but what played the key role, at least in their mind, was the fact that they are shinobi, and in their eyes, Konoha and the will of fire. Natural parental feelings and duties. Gremory told Naruto. In their mind, I suspect they acted in such a way for it was in the best interest of Konoha, but in reality, suspect it was only for their own selfish reasoning. They put their own ambitions, ideals and hopes above you, Naruto, and so they've left you. I know not if for you now, but if they had cared, they wouldn't have done what they did. Naruto finished for Gremory in a grim tone, who agreed with him. So they left me here, and everyone. One responsible for all that had happened. Old Man Hokage, the council. They know the truth, and yet. Why did they allow it all to happen to me? Naruto cried. Inner world shaking around them all. Because this is what they believe is best for them, Naruto, because the people do not want the truth, or ask questions. Gremory told him, with Naruto looking at. Council and the power want to hold to their power and not have to be answerable to the rest of the people, and so instead of coming out and saying that they had chose instead to silently place blame on you, the victim. The people wanted an outlet for their grief, rage and self-righteousness, and they found one in you, NTH. Happy to give you to them. In other words, Naruto, in the eyes of this village and its leaders and even your parents, you are not even a human being. Then, what am I? Naruto asked of Gremory. A tool, an instrument to be used and discarded afterwards. So long as you are of use to them, you will live and be used by them, but you will never have any form. Freedom. Gremory told Naruto. And they will make sure you never realize it. Even now, as we speak, I know that your body was discovered and is being brought for treatment. You will survive, yes, but Hokage will take measures as to ensure you remain loyal. What will he do to me? Naruto asked of her, before speaking for himself. He'll wipe out my memory? That and more, I imagine. I've not spoken of it, but you've long been a subject of their manipulations. you have been subjected to special seals that impair a perso. Think and reinforce certain concepts and ideas. In your case, those concepts are loyalty, Hokage, and Konoha. Gremory stated to Naruto, who was shocked to hear. Them is why you were so preoccupied with your dream of being Hokage and didn't see past it. This enforced single-minded focus was exactly what they wished you. However, that last attack had resulted in your physical death, and so those seals were deactivated, and I have been able to gain access to it, so I'm able to grant why. From these things. Gremory explained to Naruto, who was grateful for it. Wait, but if you are one of the more powerful demons, then why are you still here? I mean, couldn't you just up and leave? Naruto was confused on that part. Normally, I would be able to return to my own dimension and regain my power and physical body, but because of the seal, I am unable to do anything of that. Eve. The Demon Duchess of Knowledge and can decipher and understand any piece of information. I am powerless to do anything about the seal cast by Shinigami hymns. Told him. As I am now, I am but the meekest of shadows of my true self. I am embarrassed to say, but to perform any form of my abilities, I have to siphon out QB's chakra. To actually pull you like this and establish a proper contact and link between us cost me all the accumulated chakra. I see. Naruto told her, before he took his time to process everything and think it through, and then he spoke up again. Gremory, why did you bring me in here? You would be free, right? I would be, yes. However, I would be ashamed of myself if my freedom came in such a way, not to mention consider myself as having betrayed the Uzumaki. Surprise, but your ancestor and third son of the Sage of Six Paths, Minashiro, was the one to first make contract with me, and I had helped him and his family serve the war between Indra and Ashura. Gremory revealed to Naruto. I've always been fond of Uzumaki, their spirit and principles, and so I from time to time entered with them. The last one was Mito, whom I had great respect and admiration for, while Kushina, your mother, for the lack of a better term, is a lack-wit hypocrite, hope to settle score. Is this why you need me? To help you get revenge? Naruto asked of her, already suspecting the answer. You are partially right, Naruto. I want vengeance, yes, but I also want to help you. Gremory pointed to Naruto. Like I said, I am fond of Uzumaki, and I do desp Shinobi, not only for what they had done to you, but also to all of Uzumaki clan. So, I would like to form a pact with me. Like a contract? But didn't you already have it with Kushina? Naruto asked of Gremory, who clearly was not pleased at that mention. Sorry, I didn't mean. No, it is all right. The contracts between demons and their summoners are different in nature, rules and duties than those between summons and shinobi. In essence, form a contract, you get access to not merely me as your familiar, but also right to utilize my knowledge and such. At the same time, summoner must look after their interests. In short, it is a pact of mutual partnership and help, and one that Kushina obviously had broken. Gremory stated to Naruto. And by doing so, she message to any and all potential demon familiars who associated themselves with the Uzumaki that she is not to be trusted. Now, as for benefits of having me as you will have my help and my knowledge in all things that I've grasped and learned, and as the demon of knowledge that rivals Dantalion and some gods, I hold knowledge, from arts of shinobi to advances sciences and mysteries of the worlds beyond. Okay, and on my end, you wish for me to help get your revenge? Naruto asked, with her smiling and knowing smile. Oh, it will be more than that, Naruto. I wish to reclaim my body and power, with your help, from Shinigami, and I already have a way of achieving it. Gremory told. More than happy to reveal it to you, if you pledge to form our contract, and to add to it, I will assist you in whatever endeavor you set out for. In fact, I already POS you to gain a great deal of power, and to free yourself of a certain type of bondage. Remember when I said that Ashura and Indra's feud went beyond their lives and lives of others? I mean it literally, for their souls happen to reincarnate in those that hold their blood, and this time, Ashura has decided to reincarnate into you, as soul. Right now, he merely is a part of your existence, a small and insignificant one, but later on he will influence you to things that normally you would not do, but so use you for his own gains. I offer to separate you from him, but also to take from him his own powers and abilities, and same with Indra, though with Ashura know me close to 10 years to fully separate you two and transfer his powers to you. The choice is yours, Naruto. Gremory told him, with Naruto answering soon enough. All my life I had to suffer because of them all, and if they mean to use me as a slave, then I will break these chains. Naruto stated to Gremory, who could feel determination coming from Naruto. I will not be anyone's slave, and I will take my freedom from them, one way or the other, and if it means gaining power, then powerful no matter what, so powerful that not even the entire world will be able to chain me ever again. Naruto proclaimed, his pledge made, with Gremory smile knowing that she was right to place her bet on Naruto. Forest of Death. Naruto's age, 6. A year had passed since that fateful night, when all had changed and Naruto had formed a full contract with Gremory, becoming her summoner officially, which Demon Duchess unimpeded access to communicating and helping him. Just as Gremory had promised, she lent her abilities to Naruto, using her powers to help him stay himself, while also teaching him a great many subjects, from chakra theory and application to more general subjects and more. To say that Naruto knowledge like a hungry beast would be a correct term, as Naruto learned and understood all that Gremory offered to him, as obtaining more and more knowledge, gain power and ultimately freedom. However, as both Naruto and Gremory had figured out, there was only a limit to how much power and knowledge one can obtain within the confines of Konoha, and Gremory began to look for a way for Naruto to get stronger without drawing too much attention from Konoha. The problem was that as they had learned under too much of a supervision to actually be able to learn and use anything without drawing attention within Konoha, which severely limited their options of train. Until Gremory had come up with another idea, one that she pitched into Naruto half a year ago, and now they were going to implement, hence why Naruto had SNU. Infamous Forest of Death, and now was making his way to what Gremory called its heart. I've always wondered, what's the deal with this place? Why is it so different from all the other forests in Konoha? Naruto asked of Gremory aloud, since their could hear them. In your world, there are certain places that are intersections of lines of natural chakra of your world. Due to the sheer amount and volume of the nature's chakra, fauna will undergo mutations and changes that would make them different from their normal counterparts. Gremory responded. This forest is one such spot, but makes it unique is the fact that this is also a place with residual primordial energy, which had also affected local wildlife. This primordial energy is exactly what we are here. Elaborate, what makes this primordial energy so different other types of chakra? Naruto asked, traversing the landscape. It is the basis of all other types of energy in the existence, including chakra. Pure, undiluted primordial energy is what gives birth to worlds and planets, and also Gremory answered. Normally, one wouldn't be able to encounter it like that, but this forest. I have a theory as to why there is such an abundance of primordial Confirm it, we best get to the heart of the forest. I can sense that it is the place of concentration of said energy. Alright, I'm on it, and while we are going there, how about you tell me, why do you think that this ancestor of mine is still alive and will help me? Naruto asked of. To sound doubtful of your knowledge and wisdom, Gremory, but I believe we have already established that most humans do not get to become immortal in a full word. Emphasis on the word most, Naruto, and the person we are seeking is not from that category. Even among the Uzumaki, she stood as a prodigy from the start. Began her journey, that was when she had flourished into the being worthy of respect and admiration of gods. Gremory explained. like your progenitor Minashiro. Answers of the world in existence, and believed that one could obtain enlightenment through self-improvement, discipline and martial mastery. And so she did just such heights of mastery and power of her arts, that she drew an interest of the goddesses and was challenged to a quest, defeat every creature in Dunscaith, and immortality. And so she did just that, and mind you, not even most of the demons thread anywhere near that realm, and that woman just up and literally conquer be entirely honest, is a feat even I did not expect her to accomplish. If I did not know any better, I'd say that you are fearful of her. Naruto noted, as he reached the entrance into a cavern and proceeded inside. Fearful of her? No. Downright terrified? Yes. Gremory responded, with Naruto traversing the dark passage. Let me make it clear to you, Naruto, Scathach is the human from this world that had killed not one, not two, but 7 Otsutsuki clan members, and I'm talking about higher-ups. And that was before her ascension godhood, so you can understand why even some of the great kings of hell would rather avoid incurring her wrath. On the plus side, she did pick up a hobby of Uzumaki, if they find their way to her. Sadly, traditional route to her is closed, so we will have to improvise. Now then, we should be nearing our intended target. J had said it. Naruto stepped into the large clearing, with a hole in the ceiling of the cave, giving it light and showing something quite interesting to both him and Gre. Is that a horn? Naruto asked, as he walked to what appeared to be a pitch-black with red bloodlines broken horn, impaled onto the floor by a sword made of metal with strange red lines on it, making it appear like some kind of mechanism or such. This doesn't look it's from Konoha. Never seen anything like it. Unsurprisingly, since it is not of this world, but I happen to know what this is. This is Excalibur, an extremely powerful sword, with enchantments that allow it to and convert it destructive power. Gremory replied with clear indication of a surprise. I have been wondering for ages what had happened to it. It was lost some a battle between 2 extremely powerful warriors in another world, and since then I've heard nothing of it, but seeing it here and with the horn of Barghest of all starting to piece together what had happened here. It used to look different though, but I suspect that after such a long contact with Barghest's horn, it actually similar to those that our primordial Hound of Destruction possessed. Care to elaborate? Naruto asked, as he pulled the massive for his size sword, finding it surprisingly light. Wow, it's lighter than I thought, but I guess that's magi. Also, what is a Barghest? An extremely powerful primordial beast, an entity created soon after this world's formation, with the nature closer that of otherworldly beings, like myself. Like naturally created tailed beasts, only even more powerful and formed from primordial energy and able to generate it, with Barghest being one of such creatures. Said, as Naruto picked up the horn. As I had suspected, this land was once Barghest's domain, but somewhere down the line, around 7 centuries or so ago, she slain, with her body sealed away and only her horn remaining. No wonder that this forest is saturated in the primordial energy, since it's coming from this. Naruto. On the horn in his hand. You mean that this entire forest came to be because of this one horn? Naruto asked of Gremory with a surprise in his tone. Man, if one horn had done all this, beast do if it ever were to appear? Let's just say, that it would destroy Konoha and everything that is within 100 or so kilometer radius with nothing stopping it, if it were to switch places with Night. Gremory responded. Still, this is actually perfect. We can use this horn as a source of power to transport you from this realm to Dunscaith. Now, then here. Need to do. And so Gremory went into explanation of the ritual. Land of Shadows. Dunscaith. Castle of Queen Scathach. At the end of which Naruto now found himself falling through the transdimensional portal, landing smack down onto the courtyard of the massive castle complex. Naruto started to rise up to his feet, while also grumbling. You know, you could have warned me of how painful this would be, Naruto stated with no small amount of anger. Given that this is your first time traveling between realms, along with the fact of you not even being a novice and the sheer complexity of performing said feat of, I would say you performed marvelously, Gremory retorted. And as for the pain, we were rather Spartan in the resources, hence had to forego supplementary PR. All things considered, I would consider this a momentous success. I'll take your word on it, Naruto grumbled, as he finally stood up and looked around. Huh, I was expecting something, I dunno, more shadowy for the land of S. A word of advice, young traveler, to not judge one place at a first glance. A regal voice spoke from behind Naruto, forcing him to turn and face an extremely bow. With long purple hair and red eyes with body curves that would put every Konoha beauty to shame, encapsulated it all in a dark purple bodysuit, with her hand whole. Menacing crimson red spear. I apologize for any insult. I did not mean to intrude thoughtlessly upon your domain. Naruto bowed as in respect, with the woman seemingly not reacting FO. Before she spoke again. Raise your head, young one, she told him. Once he did, she took a good look at Naruto. Most curious. Tell me, young one, what is your name? The woman. In a polite and regal tone. I am Naruto Uzumaki, pleased to make your acquaintance. Naruto introduced himself with a bow. A member of my clan, I see, the woman said in quiet tone to herself, before speaking to Naruto. I am Skadak, queen of this realm that you know as Land of S. Mistress of this castle and once member of your clan. Tell me, Naruto, why have you come to my realm? All those that came before you were at least 10 years old, and traversed my realm's lands first before coming here, yet you've arrived right at my doorsteps through a rather crude method. I would have thought that elders of your parents would do their best to dissuade one such as yourself from such dangerous activities. About that, if I may ask, how long has it been since you've had any visitors from my world, my queen? Naruto asked politely, with Skadak cocking a brow. Question. You may address me as Skadak, for I am not your queen, Skadak told him. And to answer your question, time in my realm moves at my own discretion and in your realm. Hence I will not give you a proper answer, but your question rouses in me suspicions of dire nature. Tell me, Naruto, what has become of our clan and world? Naruto could only let out a tired sigh. It's a long story, Naruto simply said, with Skadak simply summoning 2 chairs for them, sitting comfortably in one and offering another to Naruto. Then accepted, and sat down. Fortunately, we have all the time in the world, Skadak responded. Well, to begin with. And so Naruto went on to elaborate to Skadak all of the events that had led to him coming here, along with all of the events that had happened. Skadak had received her last visitor from Uzumaki clan, with the queen listening to all, and only after the tale's end did she speak. So, the tragic end has befallen our clan. Though such was a common fate in the times of Sengoku and one was to be prepared to face it, it still aches my heart. The end of our clan, Skadak replied with sorrow in her voice. I've heard of those shinobi villages being formed from Mito, and thought that they would only bring conflict, which our clan needed none of. It saddens me that my last student's life had been spent in service of this foul system and protecting. But what truly infer? Way in which you have been abused and made to suffer for others' ambitions and greed, Naruto. You have my heartfelt sympathies, and vow that if it is your desire, then welcome to live in my realm to escape the Hidden Leaf Village. I vow to offer to you every form of protection that you may require. Skadak pledged to Naru. Seriousness, touching Naruto. I am very touched with your proposal, Skadak, but I have come not to plead for a sanctuary, Naruto told her, with Skadak looking with curiosity at him. Me, that you grant a privilege to train and learn from you to the finest men and women of Uzumaki clan. I I know that I am nothing compared to those that came. And that I am a son of the traitor, but I ask you to give me a chance to learn from you. At that moment, Naruto sprung on his feet and then knelt and bowed his H. Scat hack. I know that I possess little to nothing of worth, but I plead to you to at least give me a chance to earn your. Before Naruto could continue, as he felt Scat Hacka's H. His head and gently raised it, with Naruto seeing Scat Hacka's soft and warm eyes gaze into his. Raise your head and stand up, Naruto. She gently helped him, before speaking to him. Many have come here, boastful of their accomplishments and abilities, Training is commodity, and all were found wanting by me. To humble oneself like you did, and to possess such strength of character, even after all that was done to. Takes courage, and courage I consider a defining trait of character by which I decide whether one is worthy of my training or not. And you I find worthy of it, so sta. Uzumaki, for I take you on as my apprentice. I am most grateful, Shursho. Naruto bowed his head again, with a faint smile crossing Scat Hacka's face. Normally, I train my students for only several years, but with you, I shall train you for 8 years, for I shall teach you in arts that I have reserved away even from promising students. Scat Hack told Naruto, surprising him. However, while in training, I will not have Gremory impeding you in any way, so she is to cease all of Ashura's soul in you. She may continue once you return to your own world. Until then, I would have you at your most powerful. I thank you, Shursho, but if I stay here for so long, wouldn't everyone notice that I've grown up quite a bit in Konoha, when I come back? Naruto asked of Scat. Simply smiled. Also, wouldn't I be missed? Within this realm, time flows at my volition in relation to other realms, so while here we shall spend 8 years, only a moment shall pass in yours. And as for your appearance, your education under me shall also be supplemented by the one you receive already from Gremory. Scat Hack informed him. I am certain that Demon Duchess of Knowledge will teach you the means of concealing one's identity and true nature. Oh, you better believe it. I'll teach you such techniques they'll never be able to tell your clones apart from the real one. Gremory promised to Naruto. Thank you, Shursho. Naruto smiled to her. Please take care of me. I will, Naruto. She promised to him. 1 second in Shinobi World later, 8 years later in Land of Shadows. Naruto's age, 14. The very next second after Naruto had left this world for the Land of Shadows, a new rift opened up right in the place where he had left, and out stepped not a malnourished kid, but a young man, strong and lean in build, dressed in a dark purple coat with dark red details and armor plates on it, with same colored armor. Black pants underneath, with armored greaves and gauntlets. His face was leaner than sharper than that of Minato Namikaze, but one could clearly see the resemblance. Hair was not so spiky and more naturally messy, having grown paler in tone, with his eyes now colored of gold, serving as signs of his training with the legendary Shadows. Taking in one breath, Naruto Uzumaki looked around and finally spoke up. Home sweet home. Naruto said, as he sensed the flow of energies surrounding him through his sensory abilities. Well then, no time like the present. Time to GE. Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu. And with this, a special clone had materialized, before assuming the previous look of Naruto via special transformation and leaving for. With the Yang-style application, that clone will pass on as you with no problem, and thanks to our contract, we'll have a full-time feedback from him. Gremory Res. Naruto recalled his lessons from her on the subject. This should give us free time to start on our work outside of the Hidden Leaf. First of all, we should retrieve cash, since it contains finances that would be of most use to you in setting up your businesses. Gremory surmised. But with the powers you already possess, Naruto, would it not be possible for you to already break away from Konoha? A new voice, one belonging to Barghest inside of Naruto's mind. After your training with Lady Scat and having stood your ground against me, I am highly doubtful that anyone in this village would enough threat to you. Maybe that is so, but as we all have learned by now, there are bigger threats than just the shinobi, Barghest, and even in my current form, I wouldn't be much of them, hence why I'll need to get even more powerful. Naruto explained himself, before continuing. And besides, just obtaining freedom from Konoha and fulfilling agreements will not be the end of everything, so I've got to think on what to do afterwards. Because of that, it will be far more to my advantage if Naruto Uzumaki remains what he is in perception of Konoha, while real me sets up what's to come for the future. Naruto told them, as he finally began to make his way out of the. Speaking of which, you have been rather reserved in expressing your desires for the future with either of us. Gremory noted. I understand that you have had things through, so what have you come up with? 1 second in Shinobi World later, 8 years later in Land of Shadows. Naruto's age, 14. The very next second after Naruto had left this world for the Land of Shadows, a new rift opened up right in the place where he had left, and out stepped not a malnourished kid, but a young man, strong and lean in build, dressed in a dark purple coat with dark red details and armor plates on it, with same colored armor. Black pants underneath, with armored greaves and gauntlets. His face was leaner than sharper than that of Minato Namikaze, but one could clearly see the resemblance. Hair was not so spiky and more naturally messy, having grown paler in tone, with his eyes now colored of gold, serving as signs of his training with the legendary W. Shadows. Taking in one breath, Naruto Uzumaki looked around and finally spoke up. Home sweet home. Naruto said, as he sensed the flow of energies surrounding him through his sensory abilities. Well then, no time like the present. Time to GE. Style, Shadow Clone Jutsu. And with this, a special clone had materialized, before assuming the previous look of Naruto via special transformation and leaving for. With the Yang style application, that clone will pass on as you with no problem, and thanks to our contract, we'll have a full-time feedback from him. Gremory Res. Naruto recalled his lessons from her on the subject. This should give us free time to start on our work outside of the Hidden Leaf. First of all, we should retrieve me cash, since it contains finances that would be of most use to you in setting up your businesses. Gremory surmised. But with the powers you already possess, Naruto, would it not be possible for you to already break away from Konoha? A new voice, one belonging to Barghest Ch. Inside of Naruto's mind. After your training with Lady Skadak and having stood your ground against me, I am highly doubtful that anyone in this village would enough threat to you. Maybe that is so, but as we all have learned by now, there are bigger threats than just the shinobi, Barghest, and even in my current form, I wouldn't be much of them, hence why I'll need to get even more powerful. Naruto explained himself, before continuing. And besides, just obtaining freedom from Konoha and fulfilling agreements will not be the end of everything, so I've got to think on what to do afterwards. Because of that, it will be far more to my advantage if Naruto Uzumaki remains what he is in perception of Konoha, while real me sets up what's to come for the future. Naruto told them, as he finally began to make his way out of the. Speaking of which, you have been rather reserved in expressing your desires for the future with either of us. Gremory noted. I understand that you have had things through, so what have you come up with? I would have imagined that you would already know it all, considering where you reside. Naruto noted with dry tone. And I would have imagined that by now, you would have learned that I do respect your privacy. Gremory noted back, with Naruto chuckling to that. Let's just say that I'm not planning on playing this endless game of shinobi, or to follow their rules. Minato and everyone else thought that they are going to own tool and use me for their amusement. I think I shall do the same to them. Naruto told them, with both entities slightly confused by his decision. Do you still mean to become the Hokage? Barghest asked of him. I believe it was well established that it would be virtually impossible for you to become one. Th. Would not allow you. A month and a half later. A day after Sasuke retrieval mission's failure. Konoha. Stupid, blockhead moron. He couldn't even do a single thing I've asked of him. Sakura loudly and violently disparaged upon Naruto, as she had learned of the failed to retrieve Sasuke, and had even gone as far as to defect and to desert the village. I knew that idiot was a quitter from the very start, Sakura stated loud. Street, as she moved through it in the evening. Hello, Sakura. Sakura nearly jumped when she heard a voice behind her, turning and seeing Hinata Hyuga. Oh gods, it's just you, Hinata. Sakura let out a sigh of relief. I'm sorry, I was just disparaging upon Naruto-kun again? Hinata said with an eerily sweet smile and a not-so-shwy tone, which surprised Sakura. I take it he upset you again. You use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies/cookies/ and privacy/privacy/ policies. Accept. PFT, you can say that again. That dunderhead not only broke his promise to me, but he let Sasuke escape, and then he didn't even have enough courage to face himself. Sakura stated in a heated tone, ignorant of Hinata's widening smile. That worthless piece of trash, I knew from the start that all that talk of his being always keeping his word was nothing more but a bunch of hot air. Well, you got the first part correct, and as for the second one. Hinata let out a rather chilly chuckle. Why would anyone keep their word to an obnoxious, worthful such as you? It took a few moments for Sakura to even process what Hinata just told her. What did you just? And in that very moment, Hinata's darkness finally spread and engulfed all of Sakura, as she transformed before her eyes into her true form. In horror of silenced Sakura. Oh, Sakura, you have no idea just how long I've been waiting for this moment. You've been such a foul-mouthed banshee towards my Naruto-kun, so eager to disparage him at every opportunity. Hinata smiled a vicious smile to Sakura, cupping her face in a gentle fashion. You couldn't begin to comprehend how many be stopped from finally ending your worthless life, but Naruto had need of you, so I endured. But now, I can do all I want with you, and let me assure you enjoy every second of your long suffering. And with an elated chuckle, Hinata and Sakura disappeared from sight, with Sakura's fate afterwards being anything but you. 1. Thanks to Naruto and Gremory, Hinata had developed quite a creative mind, especially when it came down to utilizing her powers, and in case of Sakura, who greatest incentive to study and improve, she meant to outshine herself.